India, a fabled land of stunning sights and scenes. A place of mystical history and enchanting culture. Intoxicating and bewildering. Invoking images of a deeply spiritual society, ancient civilization, frenzied modern life. Amazing creatures, spectacular beauty, and exasperating squalor. A feast for the senses, full of exotic sounds, smells, and sights. I traveled to Rajasthan, India in 2003 to experience the amazing Jaisalmer Desert Festival. This remote festival is an annual 3-day extravaganza held amidst beautiful sand dunes adjacent to an ancient citadel city near the Pakistan border, hundreds of miles west of Delhi. Mark Twain once wrote that India is the cradle of the human race, the birthplace of human speech, the mother of history, the grandmother of legend, and the great-grandmother of tradition. Twain went on to say that in religion, India is the only millionaire, the one land that all men desire to see, and having seen once, even by a glimpse, would not give that glimpse for all the shows of the rest of the globe combined.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles!
My curiosity and the interest of my contemporaries skyrocketed in 1968 when the Beatles jetted off to India for transcendental meditation with the Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. Suddenly, in the midst of the British rock and roll invasion, George Harrison shocked the world by swapping his Fender Stratocaster guitar for an India sitar and started playing with Ravi Shankar. But the allure of India comes from many sources, a country of more than 1 billion people, an astounding diversity of cultures and languages, Asia's largest democracy, an ancient and fascinating political history, a place of deep spiritual practices, dramatic landscapes, high Himalayan mountains, extensive deserts and forests, and a vast ocean coastline. More films than Hollywood. Home to leading high-technology companies. Important natural resources, a place of immense poverty and inequality. Delhi is a city of almost 15 million people and shows the influence of many different forces and cultures. It's been one of the world's great cities for several centuries. While New Delhi reflects several centuries of British rule, the architecture of Old Delhi reflects centuries of Mughal rule and even earlier history going back to the famous ruler Ashoka more than 2,000 years ago. In Delhi, we visited Mahatma Gandhi Memorial Park. Gandhi was a central figure in early 20th century India. More than anyone else of his era, he helped Indians develop a sense of their identity. He was assassinated in 1948, a year after independence from Britain. We visited Delhi's imposing Red Fort, built by legendary Emperor Shah Jahan, whose reign is generally viewed as a golden age in Delhi and neighboring parts of India. In Old Delhi, we were assaulted by the sounds and smells of teeming humanity, crowded streets, urban livestock, bicycle rickshaws, street vendors, beggars, horn-blasting taxis. Jaisalmer is an amazingly picturesque, ancient walled city perched on a high plateau along the Silk Road in the Great Thar Desert near India's border with Pakistan. Big events at the Desert Festival included camel races, camel polo, Mr. and Miss Desert contests, foreign bride competition, decorative arm painting by henna, mustache contest, dancing, folk music, tug of war, turban tying, and a camel decoration contest. Plus a full-dress camel display by a sizable military brigade headquartered in Jaisalmer.
और अब आपके सामने आ रहे हैं जोरदार तालियों के साथ अभिनंदन कीजिए जो का पाठ करते हुए पूरी तरह से आपका मनोरंजन करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं।
हौसला अफजाई के लिए जरा ख्याल रखिएगा। ज़माने के हर शेर में उजल मगर है। तुझे जिसने देखा पहले नजर है। ज़माने के हर शेर में उजल मगर है। तुझे जिसने देखा।
Jaipur is a city of about 1 million people. It's dominated by one of Rajasthan's most massive palace forts called the Maharanga, which looms over the city and is still home to the Maharaja of Jaipur. In Udaipur, we stayed at the amazing Lake Palace Hotel, a spectacular marble structure that appears to float in the middle of Lake Piccola near the center of the city. Our visit to Udaipur included a tour of the famous city palace, home of the Maharaja of Mewar, heir to a 1400-year dynasty in that region. Jaipur is the capital of Rajasthan with a population of about 2 million people. The Rambagh Palace was once the palatial hunting lodge of the Maharaja of Jaipur. We visited an astronomy park in Jaipur built by the Maharaja in the 18th century. The sundial there is reportedly accurate to within 2 seconds. Ranthambore is the home of the most famous of 27 tiger preserves established since 1973. The park is relatively small and scenic with lakes and rugged hills and steep escarpments. Perched on a 700-foot sheer cliff above the forested valley is Ranthambore Fort, an impressive 1,000-year-old complex with a very colorful history. Our hotel was previously the game lodge of Maharajas from Jaipur, and the walls included photos from many famous tiger hunts, including one with a very young-looking Queen Elizabeth in 1960, standing over a huge tiger. At the time of our visit, less than 40 tigers were reported to live in the preserve out of an estimated 2,000 in India, and that number is down from an estimated 40,000 tigers in the country 100 years ago. En route to Agra, we visited a spectacular fortified ghost city called Fatehpur Sikri. This was briefly the capital of the Mughal Empire during the reign of Akbar in the 16th century. Akbar is considered to be the greatest of the Mughal rulers and grandfather of Shah Jahan. Akbar built the city to accommodate a population of 60,000 people, making it one of the largest cities in the world at that time. It was abandoned less than 30 years after its construction due to lack of water, and the capital was relocated to Delhi. Agra is home of the Taj Mahal, India's most famous landmark. The Taj was built by Shah Jahan in the mid-17th century as a mausoleum for his commoner wife, who died in childbirth for their 17th child. Shah Jahan is buried in the Taj beside his wife. 25,000 craftsmen from India and other parts of Asia completed the Taj in 22 years, in an estimated cost in today's dollars of about 60 million. It is an imposing and elegant monument with translucent white marble that picked up the ethereal sunset colors in the late afternoon of our visit. We returned early the next morning for a view of the eerily crowdless Taj at sunrise.